I'm joined by Jeremy Ruggles from JS Wright, the oldest, not you Jeremy, the firm, and largest willow grower in the world. Welcome to B3 again, Jeremy.
Good to be here, Michael. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. Not seen you for a couple of years, been the small matter of a global pandemic.
Yes.
That's upset us a little bit. How have things been?
Things have been pretty good, yes. We shut down for 5 weeks when the pandemic started in March 2020, wasn't it? Directors kept working, my daughters helped me in the yard, kept the dryers being filled, had everything ready to go. As soon as we came out of lockdown, sales were good, yeah.
What about harvesting trees, getting out to the growers and taking the crop in? How was that affected?
The hardest part of that was finding somewhere for the gangs to stay when they're staying away to cut the trees down. Yeah, but other than that, you can social distance and you can go and buy trees, you don't need to get too close to the landowner. I think we did stop for 5 weeks, but then we started it again, it carried on. As normal really, demand's still there.
You're investing down at JS Wright. Tell me what you've been up to in terms of the site itself and the factory.
Yeah, the last couple of years we've put a new cross-cutting area in for cutting more trees up, another shed for splitting the wood. We think capacity in the area probably we could get enough trees, we could probably do 600,000-700,000 on the existing site. Wow. Quite easily. Plan is in 18 months' time to put 2 new drying kilns in to take up the extra demand we're finding at the moment, which going forward should help. It's all about doing the job properly, really. Okay,
no, good. And I mean, I've obviously been to the site, it's impressive. But things are changing, nothing more topical than climate change at the moment. How is that affecting what you do as a business, growing English willow?
Well, the trees are growing faster and growing more in a year, so they're putting more girth on, so you're getting wider grains, which is a big problem. In the 60s and 70s, players wanted wide grains. When the Surridges used to play, and the Graham Gooches and the Ian Bothams, perhaps in the 80s, they're after 6 grains in a bat. Yeah. Nowadays, people want it to look pretty with lots of grains, when really the wider grain stuff is just as good, if not better.
Yeah, to be honest, I've always advocated 5 to 7 grains is probably the grain structure I go for. I find that they take a little bit longer to knock in, but once you've got them knocked in, they perform really well and last longer. Some of the narrower stuff can perform well from the get-go, but can sometimes die quickly and also sometimes be a bit more brittle. Would that be a fair assessment?
Yeah, very fair assessment. Yeah, we're getting more and more come through in the clefts, so they have 6, 7 grains in. When you've made the bat, they're going to have 6 grains, perhaps 5 in some of them. Yeah. More and more, just because the growing season go right up to the November time. Yeah. Starts again in April. Wet summers, warm summers, trees grow quicker.
We've actually seen some, and I don't want to upset you here, but I've seen some European willow being offered in the marketplace. Serbian, I think. There's a couple of people growing and selling it. It doesn't work, does it?
I think it's got its place in the market for the cheaper end of the market, lower grade, perhaps in India, places like that, cheaper bats, but no, it's very narrow grain because the countries it grows in, they have very hot climates in the summer and very cold climates in the winter. Okay. So it's dry in the summer, so it's slow growing, and very cold in the winter. Yeah,
but we found it very high density, so it's quite heavy. Yeah. But also quite brittle as well. We made a few experimental bats and they didn't last long at all.
They'd probably have like 20 or more grains in, wouldn't they, as well? Very, very close together. Not particularly?
No, not particularly, no. Pretty wide actually. But they didn't perform as well as English willow. And I think that's the unique thing about cricket bats, isn't it? Yeah. People have tried growing willow all over the world, but nothing seems to work as well as English willow. Why is that? Is it the soil? Is it the microclimate? What is it?
The willow you find in other countries is just naturally grown. Oh, okay. So in Eastern Europe, they used to plant willow to reinforce the riverbanks. Okay. That's mainly where the European willow is coming from. Okay. Cricket bat willow, English cricket bat willow, is grown particularly for cricket bats. So it's the best, we take the best stock from the best trees year after year for the saplings, so you get a better quality product at the end of the tree cycle. If you plant rubbish, you're going to get rubbish effectively. Okay. If you plant a good quality set, you're going to get a good quality tree.
And where's the best place to plant willow? What are ideal conditions for planting willow?
High water table in the ground. They do like clay soil, but we grow trees as far down as Devon, right up to Carlisle, Welsh borders, Shropshire, Oxfordshire, all over the country. East Anglia is very good with the London clay. Near rivers, near streams, anywhere like that. They do need water, not all year round, but they need water, be near water or have a high water table.
Okay, what about the spacing between? How many could you get on an acre?
You get 40 to the square acre.
Okay.
They're at 10 metre to 12 metre centres, depending on the area. Along the river banks they can grow a bit closer together because they've got plenty of water and light, obviously. Planting them in a square plantation, you give them a bit more space so they've got a bit more light to grow from.
But you're always planting and looking for landowners to work with. How does that work? They get in touch, they tell you you've got the land and you go along and plant the saplings?
Yes, they give us their address where they are. You can look on Google Maps to get some idea of how the land lies with rivers and things. But generally it involves a site visit by one of the directors or one of our chaps who actually fells the trees and plants them. Have a look, get 40 to the square acre, 10 or 12 metres apart spacings.
Okay.
But it works well, you know. Hopefully for the future we'll have a big bank of contracted trees with legal contracts where the grower is guaranteed someone who will buy the tree at full market value in 15 or 20 years' time.
Okay. Yeah, so there you go. If you've got some suitable land with a high water table, plenty of moisture, and you want to invest in planting some English willow, then Jeremy's your man. Jeremy.
And one more thing, if you do it right, Michael, it's tax-free income as well, which is a big thing.
Tax-free, fantastic. Hey, great to meet you. We're going to have some lunch, and we're coming down to you in April, so
good.
Looking forward to that. It's been a while, and it's always a great trip.
Good, it's been too long, yeah. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Cheers.
Cheers.